I am hungover and it's Black Friday, so let's go buy some books. Hey friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really good. I have woken up on Black Friday with a mild Thanksgiving hangover, and so therefore I figured there's only one reasonable course of action to mitigate this, and that is to go to Barnes & Noble and to buy some books. So that's what I'm going to do. There are no rules for this book shopping trip, only I can't buy too many holiday related books because I actually leave to go back to the UK on Sunday. My best friend in the world's getting married next week, and then it's obviously the holidays, so I'm basically just going to stay in the UK for all of December and soak up some family time before I fly back to the US at the end of December. So with that, I can't really take too many books with me because I'm going to be reunited with my huge 150 book TBR when I get back to the UK, and I made it my mission to read as many of those books as I possibly can during my month back at home. So I don't want to take too many books back with me to add to that. That being said, I already have Wreck the Halls by Tessa Bailey, which I'll be taking home with me. Yesterday I picked up Eileen by Otetta Moshfegh, which I will also be taking home with me, and also a poetry book. Now, in addition to that, TBD. But let's see what Barnes has to offer. Let's go get a little coffee. I also need sugar because I'm getting my period. There's a lot happening today, so we're gonna go and buy books together, and it is going to be a grand old time. Okay friends, I'm back. I was actually very well behaved in that store today because there was a considerable amount more that I wanted to buy, as you will have seen from the little b-roll footage that I took of me with my overflowing basket of books. But I needed to rein it in because when I get back to the UK on Monday morning, I do need to start Christmas shopping. I've done some of it, but like I need to get like main presents now, which I've been waiting to do till I went back. So yeah, I needed to rein it in today and not go too crazy, but I did come away with 5 books that I'm going to talk you guys through now. So I think I said at the start of this year that I was trying to read less this year because I wanted to read a little bit more like intentionally, and I haven't. I have still read 110 books so far this year, and we've still got a month to go, and I tend to average between 8 and 10 books a year, so I feel like we're on course right now for around 120 books again. So I'm trying to set the same intention for next year, read really intentionally, and I'm also wanting to kind of experiment more with the genre, but I'm going to talk about this in a video that I'm going to film once I get back and I've got over my jet lag. I'm going to actually have some like bulk filming days when I'm back, which is really good because then it means hopefully I can be a little bit more consistent with this channel and have enough content kind of scheduled so that when I get back to the States I'm not behind. But anyway, that's a bit of a tangent. All of these books, bar one, kind of really fit into that goal of trying to expand the genres that I'm reading and be a little bit more intentional with the books I'm picking up. My university course as well is going to do a lot of that this year. There's a lot of classics in there. I'm reading like Renaissance romantics. For example, right now I'm reading Candide by Voltaire. Last week I read Orinoco by Afra Ben. So I'm reading like a lot of very different books and I'm really enjoying that, and I feel like it's just expanding my mind a lot and my vocabulary and also my writing skills, so I really want to continue with that into next year. So Firstly, the book that isn't going to help expand my horizons at all, but I'm really excited to read because I wanted to buy it last year but didn't, is All I Want for Christmas by Maggie Knox. This, I believe, is about like two country music musicians who are on like a talent show, kind of like the X Factor but for country music. And while they hate each other, their on-stage chemistry is like next level. So they're paired together for a duet, and I guess the producers want them to then fake date for the publicity. Only maybe their fake dating perhaps turns into real dating, who knows. But I really love this cover, it's really cute, I love the little doggy, and I'm a big country music fan, so I wanted to pick this up, like I say, last year, and then didn't because I had a lot of other Christmas books to read. So this year, this is definitely going to come back to the UK with me, and I'm really, really excited to read that. The next 4 books I got are all kind of feeding into that intentionally reading specifically to broaden my mind and to open up my vocabulary. So the first one is The People in the Trees by Hanya Yanagihara. So I love A Little Life, it's one of my favourite books of all time. I've read it a few times, I saw it on stage this year. Absolutely destroys me every single time I read it, but I love that book so much. And then I actually saw this in Barnes a couple of weeks ago, didn't pick it up because I didn't really have time to like look at it, and it's been on my mind ever since. And I saw somebody on, I think it was on Booktok, talking about how much this also emotionally wrecked them. So I would have picked it up anyway with it being Hanya Yanagihara, but then once I heard that it's another emotional one, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm sold. So this is her debut novel. And I believe it's about a doctor who goes to visit these indigenous people on a Micronesian island, and these people have kind of found the secret to immortality. So the scientist learns the secret from them, brings it back to the Western world, and then there's like a huge conversation over kind of what happens like when cultures collide, and I guess the commodification of the knowledge that these indigenous people had. I'm really, really excited to read this. It's not as long, obviously, as A Little Life, but the spines are going to match up beautifully. I'm going to bring my copy of A Little Life back here, actually. But I'm really, really excited to read this one. I do also have, is it called To Paradise? Is that what it's called? I have the hardback of that back home, which I still haven't read yet, so that might be on my TBR for December. I also am going to try and read the entirety of the Akatar series while I'm back home as well. So I don't know how much other reading I'm going to get done, but that's the goal. Then I also have Slow Days, Fast Company, The World, The Flesh and LA by Eve Babbitt, which is a novel. So basically, Eve Babbitt obviously was a huge icon in, I think, the 60s, yeah, the 60s and 70s, and she managed to seduce so many men, but there was one man that remained kind of elusive and immune to her charms, and this is a book that she wrote for him. And I was going to pick up another one of hers, but then I saw this little one and I just read the first kind of page, and I just really enjoyed the writing. So I'm very, very excited to delve into this. This is another one that I've seen people talking about on Instagram and kind of thinking like, yes, okay, I would like to delve in. Then I got Either Or by Elif Batuman, which is, I don't know if it's like a companion to The Idiot, I don't know if it's set before or after The Idiot, but basically it's by the same author. I've still not read The Idiot, but again, I picked this up and it just compelled me in the same way that that one did. And I read the first page and I just really like Batuman's writing style. So again, this one, I don't know a huge amount about the plot. I picked a lot of these up because they're just vibes, basically. I didn't really spend a lot of time kind of researching them or looking into why. I just picked them up because something about them was calling to me, and I've pretty much read the first page of all of them and been like, yeah, immediately sold. So this is another book set in kind of like the American college system, and this one is about a student called Selin who, after the summer vacation, goes back to Harvard where they're studying, and she's studying English literature, it seems, and basically it's as guided by her literature syllabus and by her more worldly and confident peers. Selin reaches certain conclusions about the universal importance of parties, alcohol and sex, and resolves to execute them in practice no matter what the cost. So yeah, I know little to nothing about what's going to happen in this book, but I am really excited either way because I just really enjoyed the writing style from when I read the first page, and also the same with The Idiot. I want to read both of them in the new year. And then finally I picked up James Baldwin's Giovanni's Room, which is just a classic. I've seen so many people kind of talking about this recently and how it's kind of a very heart-wrenching story of two men who fall in love in the 1950s in Paris. And yeah, I'm excited. It says, with a sharp, probing imagination, James Baldwin's now classic narrative delves into the mystery of loving and creates a moving, highly controversial story of death and passion that reveals the unspoken complexities of the human heart. But yeah, I've heard a lot of people kind of raving about Baldwin and especially about Giovanni's Room, so I think this one is going to be one that is an emotional read as well. It's reminding me of Hubert Selby Jr.'s Last Exit to Brooklyn in like the vibe that I'm getting from it. I don't know if that's actually going to be the case or not, but yeah, I'm really excited to kind of delve in and just see what this is all about. So yeah, those are the books that I picked up today. I was also looking at A Woman Destroyed by Simone de Beauvoir, and The Unbearable Lightness of Being nearly came back with me. Mary Oliver's Devotions nearly came back with me, and then there was a couple of thrillers as well. But then when I really kind of sat down and firstly added up my basket, which was at first pick well over $200 worth of books, after doing that and then after sitting and reading through everything, I just kind of was most drawn to those books, and they were under $100, so I was like, that's the goal right there. So yeah, I'm really excited to read these. Next video you see from me, I'll be back in the UK, reunited with my exceedingly large TBR pile there, and we'll be able to talk through my reading goals for 2024, what books I'm going to be reading in December. We're going to be doing some reading vlogs. We're going to be talking about books that have kind of changed the trajectory of my life and other things. So I'm really excited to kind of get back and film some content there and just kind of get back into that reading rhythm that I had in the UK, because I do read more books in the UK. Definitely. And I think it's, as I said in my vlog recently, I have more time to read books in the UK because I do not have a social life there, whereas I do have a social life here. And I feel like that's the difficulty when you move like 5,000 miles away from home and you move on your own like I've done. You very much do have to continually put yourself out there and socialize, even when you might be feeling exhausted, because if you don't, you're not going to meet people and make friends, and it's going to be a very lonely journey when you're settling in. So I've been really conscious of that, and although it's definitely impacted my reading this year, I'm still really glad that I have kind of made that decision to get out there a little bit more, because it has meant that I have met people that are lovely and that have made my first like 4 months of living here really special. So that's really good. And yeah, anyway, that was a rambly finish, but I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please do give me a thumbs up if you have. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. I will see you in another video very soon. I'm going to try and get back to my twice weekly upload cadence again, so do look out for that. It is coming, and I really appreciate you guys for sticking around. Bye.